Has this year been a failure for Arsenal? Well, I don't believe so. Now you might be saying, whoa, you're an Arsenal fan. Obviously, you're going to be saying that it's not a failure. You're going to be defending your club. But I have a really good point why. Now, Manchester City is so far ahead of everyone else. It's insane. And, there's obviously cheating allegations that they've cheated. As of right now, it's innocent until proven guilty. But 115 allegations is crazy. There's no way all 115 are false in my eyes. But we're gonna put that aside. We're not gonna talk about that right now. Now, Man City against Arsenal in a title race is kind of like in elementary school. You put, or not in elementary school, in school in general, you put a 10-year-old to race against a 15-year-old. But the 15-year-old has raced a couple times before, and this is the first time the 10-year-old's gonna race. And not only that, the 15-year-old is gonna let the 10-year-old have a head start, and he's gonna start. It's gonna be a 100-meter run, and he's starting on the 50 to 10-year-old, and the 15-year-old on the 0, and they race. Who do you think's gonna win? 15-year-old. He has a lot more experience racing. He is faster physically. He's invested more time in racing. So obviously the 15-year-old would win due to, the physical difference. But the 10-year-old almost beat the 15-year-old, but the 15-year-old at the end came through. That's basically what happened. Are you going to say, wow, the 10-year-old absolutely bottled the league? Well, he did bottle the league, but it's not a failure of a season. Arsenal hasn't had Champions League in 7 years, and now they're going to be in the Champions League getting second place, and they challenged Manchester City. They put them all the way to the wire. You had Haaland, Pep Guardiola, all of them saying that they were hunting Arsenal. And did they hunt them? Yes. What did it take? Well, this was the best team in the world last season. Last season, Manchester City was the best team in the world. Why did they lose to Real Madrid? Lack of a number 9. And you know what Man City went out and did? They bought the best number 9 in the world available. And he has made his mark and became the best number 9 in the world. And he should win the Ballon d'Or this year because he's breaking these Premier League records and nobody seems to care. You know why? Because it's so it's everyone just says, well, it's Haaland, he's a machine. That is crazy. He's breaking these records and people are just throwing it on to the side. I do get he has the best supporting cast you could possibly want. And imagine you can get Ivan Toney up and they're scoring 30 goals. You could put Giroud, he can score 25 goals, but it's still impressive to break the record. And not only that, he's broken the record about when the Premier League was more than 38 games, he broke that record. It's immense. Erling Haaland comes in and absolutely dominates. And then, all Man City had as a problem last season was they didn't have that number 9. That was a problem. And Pep Guardiola, always got flagged. We don't have a number 9. We don't have a number 9. That's all he heard. And then you say, we can't afford it. And then he goes and gets Erling Haaland. How can you compete with the team that had one flaw, right? They had one flaw, and they went and improved that flaw so immensely that they got the best player in that position. And they have the best duo in the moment when it comes to a little duo in the center attack. You made a striker when it goes with Erling Haaland and De Bruyne. They're the two best in their position, arguably. And the only reason they haven't had success in the Champions League is because the Champions League isn't a 38-game stretch. It's a 2-game leg. And right now, this is being recorded on Tuesday, even before the Inter Milan game. But it's a 1-1, right? Going into the Etihad. Real Madrid, all they really have to do is get a goal and then sit back and frustrate City. That's really, and then they're in the final. They don't have to be the better team. City can have 80% possession, but all Real Madrid needs is a little Ramadan Benzema, puts it to the bottom right corner, boom, 1-0, sit back and relax, and you've won, and you've beaten City yet again. And, that's just the pedigree that Real Madrid has. And City just doesn't have that pedigree of the Champions League. And it will be dangerous if they do win the Champions League, because then they'll be like, now we know how to win it. It's the same thing as the Premier League. Now they know how to win it, and they win it back to back to back to back to back. And, everybody is like, oh, I'm sick of Real Madrid winning it. But the thing is, Real Madrid, we've seen throughout the years, they can go on a drought. Before, that the Decima, right? They were on a drought. And then they started winning it. They came back alive and they started winning it. The thing about City is, you mess around and let them win, they're going to continuously win it. But Arsenal, how can you compete, right? You have none of your players are in your peak at the moment. These are all young players. Martinelli and Saka, who you relied on this season on the wings, are 20 to 21 years old. 20 to 21 years old, going up against 100 million Grealish, Mahrez, all these winger options they have, Phil Foden, all these guys they have in option. Some of these guys are, won the Premier League with Leicester City, with Mahrez, Grealish 100 million, like I just said. It's insane that you have to compete with those options, and they have Julian Alvarez, who was like the guy that came, like the young player that came from the World Cup. And can't even get in and play a full 90 with Manchester City. You understand? He's the guy that's like, wow, he's really that player with Argentina. He did so much, in that semi against Croatia. He was really good. And he's that player, that young player that came, the James of 2014. Julian Alvarez, for me, was the James of 2014 for this World Cup. The young player to come out. And he can't even start on this team. He gets 10 minutes a game, mate. Like, it's insane. And then, Odegaard, he's about 23. I know he's played a long time, for his age. But, mate, it's a young team. And then they're looking to bring in Rice and Caicedo, two young players, you know what I'm saying? You got Ben White. You've got, Gabriel is still a bit young. Saliba's a bit young. It's a young team. And to challenge City, it's pretty impressive. And now Arsenal reported that they're going to be giving Mikel Arteta 200 million to spend. 200 million to spend. You can get yourself a Rice, Caicedo, Cancelo. You get those three. Maybe hopefully we sell Eddie Nketiah and not Balogun. I really want to see what Balogun has to offer now that he's had that experience to the League One. Now he could come in and, maybe him and Gabriel Jesus can switch off. If Balogun starts doing better, then obviously Balogun can play striker. Maybe Gabriel Jesus will move him to the winger. I really want to see what he has to offer. I already know what I get from Eddie Nketiah, and I don't like it as much as what I've been seeing from Balogun in the League One. That's all I got to say. Like, this guy's competing with Mbappe for the Golden Boot. Like, would I rather have him or Eddie Nketiah, who misses sitters here and there? I want Balogun. But the thing is, we need Mark Guehi, Cancelo, Rice, and Caicedo. You get those four players, you're going to be right there with City. You're going to be challenging in all three competitions. I guarantee it. And people are saying, oh, Arsenal need a number 9. No, they don't need a number 9. It's like, oh, they don't have a guy who can score 25 goals. Yes, they do. I believe Gabriel Jesus can score 25 goals. I believe Balogun can score 25 goals. I do believe Bukayo Saka will score 25 goals in the Premier League. I believe Martinelli will score 25 goals one day in the Premier League. I believe, you have a lot of players that have that potential to do it. I think Smith Rowe, he scored 10 goals in the season that he played, 20 to 25 games because he was getting injured sometimes, and he scored 10 goals. He was a main reason why we got into Europa League, into 5th, and to challenge top 4. He's going to have a better role next year. You know what I'm saying here? So what I'm thinking is, if you can get those 4 players, you can compete in all 3 competitions. And it's not a failure because this is just giving the confidence to the Arsenal board to release the funds to Mikel Arteta. And if we can get those 4 players, you will be challenging all 3 competitions. I smell the silverware. If it's Champions League, if it's Premier League, I know they will do it. And this is why this is a monumental season, because it's the start of something big. I'm really thinking that Arsenal can take City off this throne. We're in danger, like many have said, of this becoming a Farmers League. And I believe Arsenal, I truly believe they have the potential of saving the Premier League from the hands of that evil villain that is Manchester City and that oil money. And they're cheating. Arsenal, I think they could do it. And I know you might be saying this is a long stretch from all that. But I'm telling you, if these lads challenged a prime Man City with a young team, imagine what they'll do with more experience. It seems like, all right, Arsenal always fumble. All right, this time maybe they fumble the quadruple and they get the treble. I'm hoping on that one, but maybe they fumble the treble and they just win the Premier League or the UCL. I'll be like, all right, I'll take that. But anyways, leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and leave a comment down below on what you think Arsenal season was. A failure or was it a success? Let me know.